But first, we begin with breaking news here at 5 from Churchill Downs. Less than 2 weeks before the Kentucky Derby, the track announcing at 4 o'clock that they are now putting the huge makeover of the infield and other major projects on hold. Churchill Downs Incorporated saying moments ago the delay is due to the increasing uncertainty surrounding construction costs related to the tariffs and trade disputes and other economic conditions in the country right now. In the coming months, Churchill says it will look over the projects once again to reevaluate the timing. The finish line suites and the mansion, they say, will be completed in 2026. Keep in mind, Churchill's big infield project would have added 3 new buildings to mostly grassy areas there, and it alone was going to cost $70 million. This new development just in from the track.
Meanwhile, the yearly funding for JCPS that comes from taxes at Churchill Downs is at risk of being taken away. Hello, everybody. I'm Connie Leonard.
And I'm Doug Proffitt. Metro Council members have proposed a new deal with the racetrack, including an extension to keep it property tax-free for another 30 years. For years, Churchill Downs and JCPS have had a payment agreement. It's called PILOT. It stands for Payment in Lieu of Taxes.
And the council's proposal is to instead invest these millions of dollars into the city's budget to help them recoup the cost of services they provide to the racetrack. Isaiah Kim Martinez is looking into this for us. So, Isaiah, the mayor answered questions about this yesterday, and he's already getting some pushback?
Well, Connie, he is, and specifically, this is something that we've heard some about over the last couple days. Mayor Craig Greenberg says this proposal would be good for JCPS and for the entire city's economy. And this really speaks to larger issues, Louisville's ability to retain big businesses and funding for public education. A years-long agreement requiring Churchill Downs make annual payments in place of property taxes to JCPS could be in jeopardy.
At what point does fairness enter into it versus the fact that you're dealing with a significant corporate entity?
Former JCPS board member Sam Corbett reacting to Metro Council's bipartisan proposal to instead invest these millions of dollars into the city's budget.
And based upon what I'm hearing and the fact that JCPS is facing some pretty serious potential budget issues going forward, then that $1 million does become more significant.
It's part of a plan to extend the deal to exempt the historic racetrack from property taxes for another 30 years.
New jobs are going to be created. Those individuals will be buying homes. They will help increase other property tax values that will go up.
When pressed about his support for the proposal, Mayor Craig Greenberg, a businessman by trade, calling this a long-term win for the city and JCPS.
Churchill Downs is investing $1 billion in our community. That is going to create a significant number of jobs. That is going to create a significant amount of new revenue for other local businesses.
As a JCPS person, I'd rather have the money come directly from Churchill to me versus going to the city and potentially positively impacting what's going on within JCPS.
In a statement, a JCPS spokesperson telling us they're reviewing the proposal's impact and that they have not been part of any discussions related to changing the terms of the current agreement with Churchill Downs.
For a school district that large, they need all of the money they can get.
Louisville Urban League Chief Lyndon Pryor acknowledges some may view this tax revenue as drops in the bucket for a school district with a nearly $2 billion budget. But he says every dollar lost is critical, especially in today's climate.
We sit in a context right now where public education is under attack. It is under attack from Frankfurt, it is under attack from the United States government. And so again, putting any dollar in jeopardy for public education is a problem.
Metro Council still has to hear and pass this resolution. And this comes as lawmakers, particularly Republicans, call for Kentucky and Louisville to make changes to its tax code to make it more business friendly in the wake of KFC moving its headquarters to Texas and, of course, Humana vacating its iconic tower. Doug.
Isaiah, thank you very much. The city of Jeffersonville, Indiana, is making sweeping changes, tightening its belt after a new Indiana state law threatens a major funding source. Longtime Jeffersonville Mayor Republican Mike Moore announcing cost-cutting measures in response to Senate Bill 1, which is expected to slash the city's property tax revenue in Jeffersonville more than $5.7 million over the next 3 years. Mayor Moore says hiring will be frozen. Large purchases and travel will need approval, and all cities' finances are under review. He calls the moves proactive and aimed at preserving Jeffersonville's financial stability. This is a developing story. The WHAS11 night team is right now getting reaction to the impact, coming up right here at 11 o'clock.
Well, the battle over the Taj brand continues in Nulu. The bar on East Market Street has been there for about a decade now. Todd Moore was an original co-owner of the bar. Moore lost the lease at 807 East Market Street and now wants to move Taj to the 2 buildings next door. He presented designs today to the Nulu Overlay Committee in an attempt to demolish one of the historic buildings. He wants to create a music venue that's open to the street, but several neighborhood associations say it would destroy the historic nature of the 800 block.
You know, the proposed construction and the proposed design reminds me of a cyber truck surrounded by horse-drawn wagons.
The building design in regards to 809 is to incorporate the live music that the city is actually incorporating with bluegrass right now. I want the feel to be, you open up the window in the front and you can see what the activity is going in and give it kind of a Nashville vibe.
The Nulu Overlay Committee denied the application for demolition.
Other top stories here tonight at 5. 2 women are recovering after being shot this morning right inside a West Louisville home. Louisville Metro Police say it happened at about 3:15 in the morning on South 36th Street. Investigators believe the husband of one of the victims, Ronald Howard, is the shooter in this case. Both victims are expected to survive. Howard is now in the Louisville jail facing charges of assault.
Crews are on the scene of a reported gas leak. It happened earlier today downtown in the 200 block of 5th Street between Jefferson and Market. Emergency Services tells us there is a broken gas pipe in the basement of the building that they are working on. That area will be blocked off until it's fixed. Crews are asking people to avoid that area if you can.
Got hot again across Kentuckiana. Our little springtime respite over. Meteorologist Matt Breland is joining us. He's in for Mallory Schnell. And so, Matt, what were those high temperatures today? Feels a little more humid, too.
It does feel a little bit muggy out there. We're seeing the high temperatures right now, 82 degrees across portions of downtown. A bit of a breeze out of the west at 3 miles per hour. And we're also seeing some clouds gradually grow across our skies. We're entering a cloudy pattern just as we head into the nighttime hours. And that's going to lead to a bit of a cloudy Thursday as well. Temperatures around the city still ranging into those lower 80s, so yes, a bit warmer for our afternoon time. Outside the city in southern Indiana, we're at 77 in Bedford, 77 Jasper, 78 in Mumfordville, and 79 for you folks near Elizabethtown. Satellite and radar continuing to drive in some of those clouds from the south, some scattered showers developing further towards London, Kentucky, and we're going to continue to track this cloud cover as it arrives further into Kentuckiana through the overnight hours, and we're expecting pop-up showers to develop for our Thursday afternoon. The full breakdown all about those details will be coming up here in just a few short minutes.
What's happening is a lot of people are not able to get an appointment before May 7th because a lot of these appointments are filling up fast.
A spokesperson there says that DMVs across the country are slammed as stragglers rush to get their IDs.
Well, the Real ID Act you've heard so much about, an effort to set standards for ID cards in the United States, also you needed to fly domestically, was passed by Congress back in 2005. Now the TSA says that passengers who show up without real IDs at the airport can expect to face delays, additional screening, and the possibility of not even being permitted into the security checkpoint.
The original deadline for Real ID was in 2008. 17 years later, Kentucky state senators are requesting yet another extension. Right
near the big deadline. It's because of the long lines you've been seeing at Kentucky driver's license offices. WHAS11's Ian Hardwitt and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton report from one in Louisville today.
The lines used to be even longer here at this Bowman Field driver's licensing office. Now the staff are asking people to wait in their cars to get inside. It's 2 weeks out from the Real ID deadline, and state senators here in Kentucky want a federal extension on that.
We're doing some traveling, flying, so I know that we have to have it now.
Destiny Nolan and Hilton Errol came after 11 a.m. for their Real IDs. Why didn't you get your Real ID 3 years ago when you were here?
I didn't know if this was actually going to be a thing that was really going to be enforced at the time.
Yeah.
it was very wishy-washy.
They kept pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back.
State Senator Jimmy Higdon requested another extension with 27 other Senate Republicans in a letter to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
That's one of the reasons we're seeing these larger crowds, long lines, and lack of appointments available for at the regional offices is this implementation of the Real ID.
Senator Higdon hopes the extension will last another 2 years. After waiting more than 6 hours, Nolan's still waiting in line to see if she'll be part of the 36%.
It feels actually low, so I mean that just tells me more that they need to extend it.
With nearly 2 decades of extensions, the winds of the federal government might grant yet another wish. In Louisville, Ian Hardwick, WHAS 11, on your side.
Well, if you want to avoid those wait times, the Transportation Cabinet encourages you to book an appointment.
But you'll have to be quick about it. Currently, no Louisville offices have available times listed, but you can still visit any Kentucky Transportation Cabinet regional office in the state. Saturday walk-in hours are available.
Well, thanks to the record-breaking hard work of Metro cleanup crews, Waterfront Park is ready for its first big event, and it's happening tonight, this year's first Waterfront Wednesday. The return was questionable because of flooding, but the mayor told us all Derby Festival events are going on as planned. We were at Waterfront Park this morning to check out the area. There was no debris, but the setup will be different than in years past. Officials say they had to accommodate because of the floods.
We've moved the location of the stage to allow the area closer to the river to reestablish. It was just too much heavy equipment on grass that has just been pummeled by the flood. So we've moved the stage this month, but we'll still have all the great food, all the great concessions at our bar.
The gates for Waterfront Wednesday opened just a couple of minutes ago at 5 o'clock. You are encouraged to ride your bikes over there. And remember, pets are not allowed.
When you ain't got nobody, don't get low, no, no, no.
You just heard from one of the acts set to perform along the waterfront later today. That was Cam Clark of Cam Clark and his orchestra. Once again, they'll be starting the show at 6 o'clock, followed by Singer Mama at 7:30 and the band Verve Pipe at 9.
Well, one of the oldest Derby Festival events getting ready today. The Kentucky Derby Festival and the Belle of Louisville shared an update on this year's great Steamboat race. 3 specialty cocktails made with bourbon were featured. Bourbon made right here in Louisville. The bourbon is from Louisville's Bro Brothers Distillery. They're located on Dixie Highway. This is the official bourbon for the great Steamboat race. Today, the judges and president of the Kentucky Derby Festival, Matt Gibson, voted on their favorite cocktail.
It absolutely was the one that I picked. I'm a bourbon drinker. I've grown up in this town and love what this town brings to it. But it really was one that we think everybody who comes down to the event will absolutely enjoy.
And the winning cocktail is the Derby Sunrise. It had bourbon, grenadine, and oranges. There will be the official cocktail for the race. That will be the official cocktail for the race. The Great Steamboat Race is coming up, by the way, next Wednesday, right on the 4th Street Wharf.